T-minus 6 weeks until NBA play begins for the 2025 NBA season. That means 6 more episodes of In Case You Missed It Off-Season Edition, and as a content creator, I am happy about that. A few controversial NBA topics this week on the rumor mill, so let's dive into this week's weekly recap. Last week, I centered my episode of In Case You Missed It around Jimmy Butler heading to the Warriors. This week, that story has actually gained traction and is without a doubt a real possibility. Jimmy Butler's relationship with the Miami Heat has been hanging on by a thread, but knowing the Heat, they are already looking into a future without him. This future will be centered around Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero, but trading Jimmy to Golden State would allow them to receive a package surrounding pieces that can help them immediately and in the future. News broke this week that the Warriors are not going to give Jonathan Kuminga a max extension, although he is eligible for one. With this news breaking, it is evident that the Warriors will not hesitate to trade Kuminga as they look to build a competitive roster in the Wild Western Conference. With this new information, the Miami Heat may be looking into engaging in talks, as Kuminga is definitely a viable piece for them to add in a trade with Golden State. Contractually, the Miami Heat would most likely bring in Andrew Wiggins along with Kuminga in a deal along with 2 other players, making up the nearly $15 million needed for this trade to go through. Adding those 2 wings to a roster focused on surrounding Bam and Hero would be massive for the Heat's future, and if the Warriors and Heat came to terms on a deal, this would be a huge win for the Heat rather than the Warriors. I say the Warriors would in reality be losers because they still would not be addressing their biggest need, a center. Without the addition of a starting center, or at the very least a player over the height of 6'9", the Warriors are not a serious threat to anyone, even with Jimmy Butler, because the regular season will be a playoff level regular season, night in and night out, making it hard to see the Warriors as threatening. That may just be me, so let me know how you feel about Jimmy Butler going to Golden State as this story builds. Again, my opinion is that I'm iffy on it. I could see it working, but I could also see it being a disaster. DeMar DeRozan was all over First Take and Bleacher Report this week as he made some comments talking about his recent free agency, as well as his bold prediction for the upcoming season. DeRozan said he chose to go to Sacramento this offseason because he believed they were one piece away from being able to make a deep run. He obviously believes he is that piece, and that is why he chose to sign with the Kings over the Lakers, Clippers, Heat, and 76ers. Realistically, his fit with the Lakers, Heat, and 76ers were questionable to begin with, as he does not really complement those rosters well, and the same case goes for the Clippers, but thinking about how he fits into the Kings equation, it is more understandable as I think about it more. Let's be clear, DeMar was not a perfect fit for anyone, but his ability to score in isolation allows him to take pressure off of Fox and Monk as a secondary scorer, and although he has struggled with the 3, playing off the ball is something he can do in the right system. As much as I bash Sabonis, he adds a new dimension to the Kings' offense that makes it much easier for players to score. DeMar DeRozan may be known for his on-the-ball talent, but he is elite off the ball when it is within the right system. As for his bold prediction, I can't necessarily agree with it, as the Kings aren't one of my favorites nor contenders in my eyes, but saying the Kings will make the conference finals is definitely something I would love. But realistically, that just won't happen unless it is a run like the Pacers went on last year. Before our final 2 topics, we do have some signings and extensions to announce. Landry Shamet is headed to the New York Knicks, and as a Suns fan, I hope this curse does not follow him to New York, as he has been a part of some of the worst collapses in the second round in recent history, at least some of the worst Game 7 losses. 7-footer Christian Coloco is now a member of the Lakers, and as someone that was high on him out of Arizona, I do like the idea of this move for LA, but respectfully, they do need to add a proven center still. Isaac Okoro has been extended by the Cavaliers, which is cool, and shocking news came out that AJ Griffin is stepping away from basketball. I hope he pursues other things in life that makes him happy, and it is unfortunate his career has not gone as well as it was anticipated to. Tyrese Haliburton has reportedly announced that he will never be leaving the Indiana Pacers, as he is there to stay. Obviously, talk is cheap, and he is not the first player to say something along the lines of this and leave their respective team. But Indiana is his home, and I would not be surprised if he did in fact stay there for the long haul. It does have me thinking about the window for the Pacers team, though, because they have almost everyone on the books for the foreseeable future, but I just don't know if Siakam and Haliburton as your 1 and 2 options is projectable, as I believe they are both 2 options on championship teams. Let me know what you think, though. If you are big into NBA rule changes this week, you were blessed with notable information as the NBA announced that the use of a coach's challenge will now be extended, meaning that when replaying a play, specifically an out-of-bounds play, if there was a foul committed that was not called, it can be called after the replay. This is something many NBA fans were calling for, as many reviews that would or had happened while we watched games clearly showed a foul, yet the referees were not permitted to call it if they hadn't originally done so. I am for this rule change 100%, however, I do want replays to be quicker, and if I'm being honest, that is my biggest problem with replays to this point. Zach LaVine and the Chicago Bulls were rumored to be working on mending their relationship this week. In realistic terms, the only thing the two should be worried about is getting LaVine back to his all-star level. That way he can be traded, as neither side really wants LaVine in Chicago anymore. If I am the Bulls, I'm playing him to make him look amazing so a team trades for him. If I'm Zach LaVine, I'm trying to prove everyone wrong about myself by playing a role that actually helps the team win, both offensively and defensively. No more shot chucking, iso ball, more team playmaking, and looking to develop other players around you. He is the veteran leader for this newly young team that's turning to a rebuild, and accepting that role is probably the best way to change his narrative around the league. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of In Case You Missed It. As I said, well, technically it's only 5 more episodes of the offseason edition. So yeah, we got 5 more weeks that NBA's back. Enough to make a grown man cry, but yeah. Y'all stay safe. If you want to watch my preseason power rankings video, click on the video on the screen. And yeah, y'all stay safe. Have a good one. Bye.